Hey y'all, welcome as we continue in Song of Songs with chapter 3 today. If you don't have rules in a game like dodgeball, football, basketball, or any ball,
Foursquare.
Foursquare, Joe has a lovely relationship with the game of Foursquare.
I do. My knee doesn't.
If you don't have rules in these games, however, the game will become lame, right?
Yes.
I don't know a lot about sports, so I'm deferring to Joe here on
Yes.
this.
It's chaos and
Yes.
everybody gets frustrated and nobody knows what they're doing.
Yes, I don't think I would enjoy watching a game with no rules because there would be
You
nothing.
don't like
I
watching a game
don't
anyway,
like watching a
period.
game anyway. It's really boring to me.
But for the rest of us, yes, we need rules in our games.
If anyone's just running across the court with like no rhyme or reason, there'd be no point, right? Yeah, okay, so the point is here that the same holds true in our relationships. God gives us rules for our good, for our benefit, and for us to become our very best in Him and with each other in our
Hmm.
relationships. With the sexual revolution in the 1960s came the idea that we needed to liberate sexuality from all the boundaries of the past. They removed the boundaries of commitment completely.
And everything went great afterwards.
No, it's gotten really bad. With this movement, which has escalated beyond what anyone thought it would in that time, I'm certain of that. Also, with this movement came the removal of the truth that commitment to one person actually does have spiritual value. It
Yes.
is worthy. God created meaning in our relationships with each other, meaning that meaning is meant to be deep and personal and emotional. When you strip away any kind of meaning or emotional commitment from our relationships, it becomes just something you do, like eating and sleeping. There's no value in it. We end up with a suppressed emotional life that leaves us cry in pain, and we have an ache of loneliness
Emptiness, yeah.
and emptiness as a society. It becomes more and more tragic for both men and women alike the further and deeper we get into that cycle. And it's become more and more tragic in our society. It's becoming evident. Removing boundaries from sexuality has cost us more than we want to give. Rather than experiencing liberation, a vast majority of people have experienced unimaginable hurt, pain, and devastation in every way. It has cost us something that we don't like, and we are feeling the loss of that like
Yeah.
never before in our culture, in
Yeah.
society today. Freedom is good. Yes, it is good. But unchecked by restraints, freedom hurts us. We've lost so much innocence that innocence is being lost younger and younger. A21, which is a rescue mission for people who are exploited by others, recently rescued an 18-month-old baby girl from being sexually abused. 18 months. That is absurdly ridiculous and disgusting and horrible and tragic in every human way possible.
Agreed. Yeah.
It's insanity. There is tragedy after tragedy reported in our world. This is not what God intended for us.
No.
This is not what God intended for our lives. We need to go to the Word of God, and we need to get back to the basics of God and His Word and obeying the God of the Word. We need Jesus desperately, individually and as a society. We need to be desperate for Jesus every single day. We need to look at what God's intent is for our relationships, for love, for marriage, and even for our friendships. Done God's way, love in marriage and romance is intended to be a gift. Done God's way, love in marriage and relationships and romance is both beautiful and enjoyable, but we need to go to God's standards, not the world's. Rather than lament the broken, tragic things, we can look to Jesus and we can celebrate what's beautiful and good and see how God meant for marriage and relationship to actually look like.
Yeah.
In this chapter, we are invited to attend and experience the joy of the wedding of the couple that we have been studying so intently so far. A couple who has been following God's design for love and romance and marriage and relationship. And as we continue, we're going to see the beauty of what's possible according to God's design. It gives us hope of what could be and what is meant to be as we listen to the Shulamite woman speak and hear how she feels on her wedding day. And we'll go ahead and start in verse 1.
One night as I lay in bed, I yearned for my lover. I yearned for him, but he did not come. So I said to myself, I will get up and roam the city, searching in all its streets and squares. I will search for the one I love. So I searched everywhere, but I did not find him. The watchmen stopped me as they made their rounds, and I asked, Have you seen the one I love? Then scarcely had I left them when I found my love. I caught and held him tightly. Then I brought him to my mother's house, into my mother's bed, where I had been conceived. Promise me, O women of Jerusalem, by the gazelles and the wild deer, not to awaken love until the time is right.
We are not certain if the Shulamite woman truly wandered the streets at night or if she was simply dreaming, but regardless, these verses reveal her anxiety. They clearly don't live together, so they're not yet married. She's realized she loves this man. She is poetically expressing her longing and her willingness to risk running in the night for him, which would have been very dangerous for a woman to do back then, just as it is very dangerous to do now as well. She is saying that he initiated, she responded, and seeing that he is worthy of her heart, she's got determination rising within her to make this relationship work. The watchmen found her and questioned her, and she barely passed them when she found Solomon and held on to him tightly. Their hearts had been knit together, but there's a check in her spirit. There's something in her that says, Are you sure? As she pursues him past the watchman and brings him to her mom's house. The mom is a picture of safety. It's a place of safety for her to discuss and contemplate the things of romance and love. Before she gives herself wholeheartedly to this man, she checks with mom to ensure that this person is worthy of her affections. This isn't, she's not taking him to her mom's for any other reason. It's poetry. Again, there's community and there's safety. There's guardrails in place. The expression of love happens in the safety of commitment. And before she commits her entire human being to this person, she goes to her mother's house to ensure that her family also does approve of this. There's a warning given here as she closes these verses to the women of Jerusalem, the young ladies of Jerusalem again. True love, lasting love, has a lot of communication. It has an evaluation of character and chemistry. It has a resolve from a community to work through conflict and see if you are worthy of trust and whether they are also worthy of you. There's a moment of commitment, and she tells these young women to wait. Don't settle for the guy that wants to use you and abuse you and throw you out to the dumpster. There's wisdom for both guys and girls to not settle for the cheap imitation of what God meant to be rich and real.
Yeah.
She encourages the young women to wait. Love takes time to blossom and it grows. Don't rush it. Let the romance grow over time so that your marriage in the safety of commitment can have the opportunity to flourish. And we'll continue in verse 6.
Who is this sweeping in from the wilderness like a cloud of smoke? Who is it, fragrant with myrrh and frankincense and every kind of spice? Look, it's Solomon's carriage, surrounded by 60 heroic men, the best of Israel's soldiers. They are all skilled swordsmen, experienced warriors. Each wears a sword on his thigh, ready to defend the king against an attack in the night. King Solomon's carriage is built of wood imported from Lebanon. Its posts are silver, its canopy gold, its cushions are purple. It was decorated with love by the young women of Jerusalem. Come out and see King Solomon, young women of Jerusalem. He wears the crown his mother gave him on his wedding day, his most joyous day.
At last the day arrived for the Shulamite to marry Solomon, the king. The glorious procession appears on the horizon. She sees Solomon being carried in his richly decorated carriage, surrounded by 60 of his bravest soldiers with a cloud of fragrant incense above him. She describes this huge entourage coming, and she doesn't say, hey, look, they're kicking up some dust. She says it's like a column of smoke in the wilderness. That is specific language. That is specific imagery grabbed directly from the book of Exodus. In Exodus, when the people were in bondage in Egypt, God came as the lover of his people and set them free. The column of smoke in the wilderness was God's presence with his people as he led them out of bondage and through the wilderness into the land of promise where they could flourish and have life. She sees the holiness of God within their wedding day. Marriage is a holy institution given by God. It's a gift. She looks at this man and she determines that in certain ways, this man is like God in how he came for his people. He used his strength to serve them and set them free. She saw Solomon, this God-fearing man, coming for her. She sees him as holy in the ways a man is meant to be holy under God. He is a good man who fears the Lord. She doesn't just describe his arrival as a cloud of dust or a cloud of smoke. She adds that it is also filled with fragrance, incense. Incense was used in the temple. It had to be prepared a specific way, and it was to be burning constantly in the temple. God wanted his people to think about their covenant with him, and the smell of something sweet in the process would remind them of that covenant relationship that they have with God. He wanted them to know that being bound together with God wasn't going to be a crushing, destructive relationship. It would be a sweet covenant promise.
Yep.
Having a covenant relationship with God liberates his people and sets us free. A covenant with God has a smell of sweetness, just like Jesus is our new covenant promise, and that covenant is bound by the blood of Jesus, and his blood is precious, and his covenant with us is sweet. The incense represents prayer, communication, and intimacy with God, and with it comes sweetness. With the incense, we see God's tenderness and care and his love for us. And our prayers are incense that rise to heaven and literally make the atmosphere that surrounds God.
I like to think of mine as like the smell of freshly baked chocolate chip cookies.
Oh, yeah, you would. Yeah, that sounds appropriate. So the woman looks at Solomon and smells chocolate chip cookies. I'm just kidding. She looks at Solomon and she doesn't see shackles of marriage.
Right.
She looks and she says that this is a holy man who loves God, that this marriage is going to be bound together under God, and it is a holy covenant bond, and it has the sweetness of intimacy that can only come from God. God is for us, and he wants to create an environment for us where we can flourish together in our relationships. Around Solomon were 60 mighty men. They were wearing swords and they were experts in war. David had 30 mighty men surrounding him, and here we see that Solomon's mighty men have doubled what his fathers were. These aren't guys who are just battle trained. They are battle ready. They are there to protect. The woman feels safe with Solomon. She feels secure. He is strong, but not exploitive in his strength. It's a strength that makes her feel well cared for and loved. Women want commitment and security and to know that they will be treasured. And that's how a woman was created to feel by God. Over and over again, surveys continually prove that there is a desire for women to have a sense of commitment that feels safe. Power without godly restraint quickly turns evil. The scariest thing a woman can run into in the middle of the night isn't a raccoon, even though I think raccoons are very, very scary. Raccoons really are evil, like a snake and a lion and a leopard. Like, you don't want to run into those things at night. The scariest thing to run into in the night is actually a man without any moral restraint.
Yeah.
But here we see a woman admiring a safe, loving, caring, strong, godly man who has moral restraint. His strength is used to make her feel safe because he truly cares about her. It's not about muscle strength either. Ecclesiastes 7:19 says, "One wise person is stronger than 10 leading citizens of a town." The Shulamite woman wants a man who is worthy of her trust in a dangerous world. He comes with special forces and a whole caravan.
Yeah. An
Solomon,
entourage.
an entourage. Solomon is set. His carriage is built from the wood of Lebanon, which was the best quality lumber that he could get. He made his posts of silver and its canopy of gold, which were precious metals.
So he also had a lot of money.
He was well off.
Ching.
Yes.
Jackpot.
Yes. His cushions were purple even. And purple is the color of rich royalty.
Right, yeah.
Purple dye came from the murex of shellfish, which is actually really hard to get. Purple was extremely expensive. And here it said the very couch that his tushy was sitting on as he comes to receive his bride was made of purple.
I don't remember the word tushy in here.
Well, he's sitting on a couch of purple. Implied. Every detail is noted to be taken care of in the finest quality.
Yeah.
This man is holy, he is strong, he is complete. He is not cutting corners with this woman. He cares about every single detail. He cares that every detail communicates that he values her. He wears the wedding crown that was given to him by his mother. The bride has her attendants. The king has joy in his heart, and the time has finally come for the wedding to take place. This is a great day of joy because Solomon gets to love this woman, and this woman gets to be fully loved by this man who fears the Lord, is strong, and uses that strength for good. He is safe and can be trusted. This is a detailed account of a relationship that is blossoming according to the design and the intent of God. It also is a reminder of our coming King of all kings to claim his bride, the capital C Church, us today, those who have accepted the invitation of Jesus, his proposal to surrender all to his love and receive his love. Our returning bridegroom is strong, he is victorious, he is holy, he is safe, and he can be trusted. It's up to us to choose to trust his love, to trust his sacrifice, to trust his covenant promise, trust his restoration and redemption. He has all the spiritual riches of the world, as well as all of the material wealth of the world. Everything that we have comes from God.
And also he has quite an entourage.
He has a huge entourage. He is the chief and commander of all the heavenly hosts.
Yep.
He is everything we need in every way, shape, and form. It's up to us to choose to surrender all and trust him and just receive his invitation, his offer of life for eternity. It's up to us to choose to surrender all and give him every last yes under the sun and run into his loving arms that are there waiting for us every single day. Mm-hmm. It's a daily choice, really.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Every day. Yep.
Every day. That is where we will close chapter 3 in Song of Songs today. We hope y'all are having a glorious day in the Lord.